Quinton de Kock, releasing a statement following his withdrawal from the Proteas team to play with the West Indies at the T20 World Cup on Tuesday. The star batsman making the decision after CSA's directive to the Proteas players to take the knee in support of the Black Lives Matter movement. Well, Benjamin Leshoro is joining me in studio. He is our sports anchor here. Benji, good morning to you.
Morning.
Before we get straight into what this apology says exactly, let's go back a little bit into why on Tuesday Quinton de Kock decided that he was going to withdraw from the team. Make us understand, was he withdrawing from the rest of the matches, or was it a specific match that he was withdrawing from?
He was essentially withdrawing from the match against the West Indies in Abu Dhabi on Tuesday. And this and it was widely accepted as the governing body, CSA, having told the team on the morning of the game that they will have to take the knee with the rest of the teams that at the World Cup, because it's, I've said before, it's a global gesture that has been widely regarded as in support of the Black Lives Matter movement.
Yes.
So the issue was that on Saturday when they played Australia, it looked like there was no uniformity in the team. Well, there wasn't, because there were players who took the knee, others didn't, and the mostly players who didn't take the knee happened to be white players.
Sure.
They didn't take the knee, and it was quite embarrassing for Cricket South Africa, for the team. I would imagine the members of the team who took the knee, that some of their teammates didn't. It raised questions about the spirit in the team itself. How do you go and win the World Cup and come back and celebrate with South Africans, a country predominantly black?
And Themba Bavuma having to explain this in front of
captain. Yes, the captain of the team having to explain what happened in that. So that's essentially Quinton de Kock deciding minutes after CSA's directive that you have to take the knee. Quinton withdrew from the match day squad that day.
Now let's come to the apology. I listened on radio one of the days when this scandal broke, and it was a gentleman who came across as someone who knows Quinton de Kock at a personal level, and he went into some detail as to why he thinks that Quinton de Kock decided on this step, and I think part of it was that he felt that the whole knee issue, or the whole Black Lives Matter movement had lost its meaning somewhat. I am raising this specifically because I'd like to understand what the content of the apology says exactly.
He does start by apologizing. He says, and I'm quoting him directly here, "I'd like to start by saying sorry to my teammates and the fans back home." And then he says in another sentence, "If me taking a knee helps to educate others and make the lives of others better, I'm more than happy to do so." But also, he goes on to say further down, "For those who don't know, I come from a mixed race family. My half-sisters are colored, and my stepmother is black. For me, black lives have mattered since I was born. Not just because there was an international movement." And there's another one.
So you see, it talks exactly to what we've just spoken about, the context about, from this gentleman that I say, claimed to know him at a personal level. This is someone who clearly doesn't think that this movement, this initiative, Black Lives Matter initiative, is of any consequence.
And some have gone on to even label it as a political statement, a politically loaded statement, rather than a sporting thing. But my issue with this is that you would be hard-pressed to be able to separate sport and politics, particularly in South Africa. In the context of the history of the country, sport and politics have always been intertwined. And this is why up until 1992, South Africa was banned from international competition, from the Olympics, from the FIFA World Cup. It is after
1992.
1992, South Africa was readmitted.
And the person who drives sport post-apartheid is former President Nelson Mandela, who puts forward captains of cricket at the time, rugby, Francois Cronje, and so he makes sport become the one thing that could potentially unite this country.
And it's always been like that, Colin. Sport has been what South Africans look for to perhaps sort of diffuse racial tensions in the country. And I am of the view that the 2019 World Cup, Rugby World Cup win for the Springboks would have mattered little to black people had Siya Kolisi not been the captain of the Springboks. The fact that he was the leader of that team did a lot to spark the interest. Yes, spark the interest of a lot of black people in the Springboks in particular. The Springboks had won the World Cup before, but this one in particular was important to black people.
Benji, let's leave it there. The apology has come, and so I take it Quinton is now back in the fold.
He's been in the fold. He never left. We need to clarify this. He never left the UAE. He never came back to South Africa. He just withdrew from the team that day. And he says here, I'm expecting him to take the knee at the weekend when the team plays, because he says he's happy to do so if it helps educate others.
Benji Leshoro, thank you very much, our sports anchor here.